Welcome to Spiritually Raw. We expose and explore controversial truths, myths, and theories surrounding the spirit world. Guests includes investigators, debunkers, and skeptics of the supernatural, unexplained, and flat-out unimaginable. Content discussed on this show is not necessarily the opinion of the cast of Spiritually Raw, and topics quite often are for mature audiences only. This show is not intended to replace any medical, financial, or legal advice and is for entertainment purposes only. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Hey everybody, what's going on? I know you have a show to watch, so let me get real quick into this with you. Okay, so Ascended Masters you're watching right now, browse, select, ascend. It's very easy to use. All you have to do is scroll down here. You're going to see the different categories, sessions, courses, products, entertainment, books, conscious business growth. All you do is you simply click on the category that's resonating with you or that you're in need of, and you're going to see a video directory of some of the greatest minds out there. And within 5 to 7 minutes, you'll find out who that person is, what their style is, and if they're going to help you on your journey called life. It's a very easy formula to follow right here. And also too, if you're one of those who does have a product or service that you think that will be a benefit to others and you'd like to be on Ascended Masters, our email is in the description below. It's askspirituallyraw@gmail.com. We'll set up a time to chat and see how you can make a difference in the world for people. So hope you're enjoying the site, everybody. Thanks for sharing this, and much love to you. And most importantly, enjoy the show. We'll see you next time. Hello, everybody. How are you? And welcome to Spiritually Raw. Thank you so much for your energy exchange with us today. And as always, we hope you woke to the most miracle morning and the most fortunate day today. And yes, that beautiful smile over there is Suzanne Ross. She is absolutely back again. It's good to see you, Suzanne. How are you?
That beaming energy. It's like awesome.
She's got some cool stuff. She's going to be sharing with us about coming into this 2022. So this is a lot of cool stuff and what she's got going on to help you on your journey called life, which we'll talk about that. Also, I do want to thank you and also remind you, if you haven't already, kindly hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you are connected when great guests like Suzanne come on the show. Again, stay connected with us through all of our stuff. It's all going to be in the description below. Yeah. Anything else?
No, I think you actually got it all.
Finally.
All right, let's welcome the beautiful Suzanne Ross. If you guys haven't caught the show last time on Spiritual Raw, make sure to go back. You were actually like channeling it. We started out not channeling, but then you went into a channel. It was really awesome. It was a great interview. Suzanne has been tuned into other dimensions. She was actually born in Mount Shasta, which is very, very cool. At the age of 30, she was blessed with a divine intervention on a mountaintop where she was merged with her higher self and aligned with her true calling in the fields of wellness and spirituality. She now resides in Sedona, where she guides interdimensional journeys into the vortex. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds like a hell of a lot of fun. She's also hosting the Sedona Ascension Retreat. Make sure to join Suzanne and a bunch of other awesome speakers that all you guys know and love. We're actually going to be interviewing quite a few of them over the next few weeks, so keep an eye out for that. And that is scheduled on March 18th to the 21st. And if you want to get some tickets, make sure to go to the Sedona Ascension Retreats.com. We will have all the links in the description, and it's going to just be an awesome time. And you have a great lineup of speakers, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
And welcome us for our speaker on hand right now. Suzanne, it's good again to see you. Thanks for taking time. I know you got a lot going on, burning the candle at both ends, as you say so well.
Thanks so much, April and Jay. And I just have to say, what a great introduction. I've been on hundreds of radio shows, and this is one of the best introductions I've ever had. Thank you, April. And you're incredibly well-versed on who I am and what I do and what I'm doing and offering for 2022. Hardly skipped a beat, and I so appreciate it. And thanks for your beautiful energy, the both of you. You guys look great.
Thank you. Nice. Thank you so much. Likewise. Right.
There's so much cool stuff going in there. We talk about it and it's like, hey, it's just a matter of, and I think you're absolutely leading the way, leading the charge with this by showing people that, look, let's tap into that energy out there. Let's tap into that source out there, and we can create and harness and manifest what other people really only talk about. So thank you for your service for doing this. Let's dive right in if we can again, Suzanne, with you. And I want to talk about what April mentioned a bit ago. You actually being born in Mount Shasta, which is starting to get more and more recognition for its spiritual tapped in, tuned in kind of abilities right there.
The vortex. the real vortex.
Are we missing anything on that? Is there any misconceptions on that part of it? I mean, is there something that really like, hey, the people like someone like yourself being born in Mount Shasta, did you find any type of like, maybe I was born in like some sort of, special place, if you would, or is it just, I'm just born in a place? Like how have you been able to, over these last years, really wrap your head around that piece and really reconcile that?
And so, as you know from our last interview, my father actually had a missing time experience when he was just a teenager, growing up in a little tiny town in Saskatchewan in Canada. And he then was implanted with a rectangular shaped object in his wrist. Growing up, he called his alien chip. And right after that, he was recruited by NCR, National Cash Register Company, and became a genius on the front lines of the emerging computer age with just a high school education in a one-room schoolhouse. And so I believe that he was actually recruited by NCR and intentionally transferred to Mount Shasta. I was born shortly after we got there. And so the way that things unfolded were very synchronistic and quite mysterious upon reflection. Shortly after his missing time experience, which was a 4-hour missing time experience with 3 of his friends, he was recruited.
As well, Suzanne, were the other 2 friends also implanted?
And so his friend, Don Malstead, is the only one who would acknowledge that they had the missing time experience. The other 2 never wanted to talk about it again. And so he stayed in touch with his friend, Don, throughout the years, and they talked about this. Whether Don had an implant or not, I do not know. I just know that him and his friend, Don, who was in the passenger seat, are the only 2 that kept in touch over the years about it. My father, like I said, was recruited by NCR within months of this experience. And first of all, moved to Mount Shasta, where I was born and had many paranormal experiences as a child in Mount Shasta. And then after that, after about 4 years, he was transferred to Dayton, Ohio, right next to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, which is where NCR was located, which was founded by James Patterson. And so all of these things sort of unfolding. And so your question about Mount Shasta, I do believe that there are areas on the planet we might call vortex sites where supernatural paranormal activity happen. I also believe where my father was taken is a portal, Saskatchewan. And I later learned that Sasquatch was named after Saskatchewan.
It's pretty damn close. Yeah.
Right. So that was a paranormal vortex area where supernatural things happen. I believe that in these vortexes, you have greater access to interdimensional realms, and interdimensional beings can come through in these spaces. I believe they're vibrating at a higher frequency because that's the nature of a spinning vortex, is for everything within it to be vibrating at this higher frequency. And I believe higher dimensional beings can materialize and communicate easier within this higher frequency.
Do you
long answer?
No, great thing. What did your dad ever come to a resolution or a thought of why was he targeted? Why was he recruited specifically?
I believe because he had been upgraded during his missing time experience and was very well aware that this alien chip, he would hold it. This alien chip had everything to do with why he was able to download such advanced intelligence about computer design of hardware and software with just a one-room schoolhouse education.
Now that's interesting. Which really leads right into our next.
It really does. Yeah. Ascension and AI. I mean, so let's talk about that. The spiritual ascension, if we would. Is that ascension more like a God thing, or is it more like a technical thing that we're looking at? I mean, how are you perceiving it? Is it more like a
spiritual,
is it a spiritual awakening of sorts? Many people refer to it as like we're going to these different dimensions, or are we, like what happened to your father, are we just being, for those of us who do it, are we being upgraded and there's technology implanted into us? How are you looking at it from your perspective?
And so I do believe that these alien races who are loving, benevolent, supportive ancestors will choose certain individuals and use that type of technology in order to continue to communicate. And so that's been my experience. So I'll only speak to that. However, I do believe there are spiritual technologies that we can employ ourselves through meditation, sound healing, DNA activations, spending time in the vortex, pouring our love and light into the ley lines, right? Like all of these types of spiritual technology that we can use to raise our consciousness, to expand our mind, to ourselves connect into higher dimensional realms. Although I do believe that we can have experiences of missing time, like I did in 2017, where we are upgraded. For me, I was shown in a hypnotic regression how I was taken aboard a craft, and there on the craft, we were downloaded with advanced knowledge and wisdom that would unfold over time. So I do think there's galactic intervention that may involve some technology through downloading and implanting and what have you, but also ourselves as spiritual practitioners can certainly employ different spiritual technologies, if you will, for our ascension.
Why now, Suzanne? Like, so why 2022, or in this few year vicinity, are we just being more and more aware of it? Why now? Why not 10 years ago? And why not 10 years from now? Why is it so strong right now?
Yeah.
So I believe that the ages of the yugas have everything to do with it, plus what the solar hierarchy would call the advanced acceleration program. And so the solar hierarchy has said that they put humanity on an acceleration path. It would be called an accelerated evolution program. So if you follow the ages of the yugas, then you would know that we go from a golden age of enlightenment into dark ages, because our solar system travels on that path in the precession of the equinox, in this elliptic. And so the dark ages, you could say, we met 0 point when our calendar started back at year 1, when supposedly Jesus Christ was born. But that started us on an ascension path, you see, where in the golden age of enlightenment, 12,500 years ago, either those who were advanced enough to ascend got off the 3D plane, and those who were not continued on this sort of like devolution, descension arc into the dark ages. But now we are on this ascension arc, right? But we would only be at 2022 on a 12,000 year ascension arc. And so what the solar hierarchy says is that they put us on this accelerated evolution plan to catapult us into this time. You see, 1 year equaling 100 years. And so they did this in the year 1900. And so between 1900 and the year 2000, it would catapult us 10,000 years on this arc.
Well, that now makes a lot of sense, because how could we even 100 years, well, not even 100 years ago, let's even go back like 50 years ago, we didn't even have a refrigerator, right? Television and a microwave was just recent. So when you think of 100 years ago, how prehistoric it felt as to right now, and that's a short amount of time, 100 years, to have taken this massive evolution or humanity upgrade or whatever you want to call it. 100 years is a short amount of time to have created everything we've created in that time space.
And in ancient scriptures that talk about the end times, they refer to a year will be like 100 years. This is time speeding up. And that's what happens too when you move into a higher frequency age. Of course, we all know that our central sun is transmitting powerful rays of supercharged photons right through our own sun's solar flares. And so these solar flares, even in the solar rays of the sun, we are being showered with supercharged encoded photons of light, which is another form of spiritual technology, right? To up level those who are ready to open to receive this high frequency so that we can vibrate at a higher resonance, but also we are being encoded by these photons because light carries information. And these are advanced codes of creation activating our DNA for this ascension.
Suzanne, are we being
Pretty cool.
encoded based on the fact that we want to be encoded, meaning for those that are accepting and say, hey, we know there's something really cool, there's high vibes, I can't wait to embrace it. Are those people being encoded? And then there's those that are like, whatever. Are those people not being encoded, or does it matter? We're just all being encoded.
I do believe that there is a spectrum of people who are being encoded. People like myself who stand in the rays of the sun and ask to be downloaded with these creation codes. You know, I open and I ask the lords of light and the ladies of light, right? The sun, the soul of the sun, actually being a being of light, right? And they'll call the sun Helios as the masculine expression of the sun, Vesta as the fire goddess personality of the sun. And so you're talking to an actual being and you're saying, you know, download me with these supercharged photons to elevate my love light frequency. Download me with these advanced codes of creation so that I can serve at the highest possible level. This is why I want to ascend. And this is why I want to become more advanced in my knowledge and wisdom, is for service to humanity. You see, so it has to do with your intention as well, I believe.
Very, very true.
But I believe everybody is receiving this, you know, like they talk about the Schumann resonance, right? So for those who are open to that and those who are in service to the light, right? But for those who are in resistance and they're vibrating at that lower vibration, it may short circuit their nervous system, and or they'll turn away from the light. And they'll contract in fear and, you know, stay indoors, you know, COVID, don't go outside, stay in your house and order everything online. And right. Like, oh, and Bill Gates, you know, here's trying to white out the skies. He said himself, I want to white out the skies with chemtrails to block those dangerous rays of the sun. You know, it's a threat to those in charge of the world in their minds, you know, for the masses to awaken, because then they become empowered and they're not easy to control, right? That might be another whole talk about, but.
Well, no, I'm great. Actually, that's going to lead right into my next thought. So now you have people like us that are totally open and they're like, this is the greatest time to be alive. And we're totally plugged into transcending, right? To creating a higher, really just a higher state of being on a daily level. So now you have others though that are the opposite. They're literally plugged into, you know, what we call the matrix. So people right now are either transcending it or connecting to it and staying in it. So what can we do, or from your point of view, to help people to transcend it and get out of it?
And so to be very discerning as to the extent to which you engage in the false matrix. Right? Be very discerning about how much you engage in the artificial technology and allow yourself to be exposed to the artificial intelligence. As we all know, Mark Zuckerberg has now created the metaverse, where now you can live and own property and stores in the false universe, in the artificial metaverse.
It's really
talk about being plugged in, right?
you're trapped. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so people are going wild about it, right? And buying property and buying homes and buying real estate and buying businesses. And I think Justin Bieber just bought a concert hall. I mean, so this is their choice to fully immerse themselves in an artificial world as artificial intelligence, as artificial avatars of themselves in this totally technological world. And so, no judgment. This is where they're at on their journey. They're going to choose the artificial route.
Mm-hmm.
Those of us who are awakening on our path, we would rather choose the natural path of remaining the divine, magnificent beings that we are, plugged into the divine source and out in the natural creation, connecting with the living, breathing trees and flowers and looking at the natural sun and moon and right, like, but it's a choice. You can engage in spiritual technology to be more connected into the divine source of all that is and spend time out in our natural world and creation, breathing in the sunlight and the air, or you can be inserted into this artificial world and just immerse yourself in AI, and you can allow yourself to be implanted with a chip if you like and have a serial code that allows you to be tracked and traced on a daily basis. If you like, you can download all of your financial information into your chip. So that then when you don't pay your taxes, they can just come directly out of your bank account. In China, they are already doing this. They're tracing and tracking people mostly through their cell phones. And so if a person jaywalks, their credit score drops.
Right.
So you see how you become then very controlled. If you, but you know, again, if this is the route that you would like to take, then you can buy and sell with your chip. And some businesses may say only those who have a chip with a QR code that even shows that they've been vaccinated are allowed in our business. And if you don't have it, you cannot buy or sell here. Well, this sounds very much like the Bible's book of Revelation and the mark of the beast. I can hardly say it. That right? Because it makes you stop like, wow, this is really happening.
Exactly.
But it was prophesied, right, by John the Revelator, channeling Jesus Christ to bring forth this information about exactly what's going to happen in the end times. It's the descension of the old earth into the new world order, or the ascension of the new earth. We think these are new age terms. They were written 2,000 years ago in the book of Revelation, the ascension of the new earth.
Right. Can I ask something real quick? Okay, so let me ask you this from your point of view. You know, you hear a lot of people saying, I'm fighting for my rights. I'm fighting for the children. I'm fighting against this. I'm fighting against that. What is your viewpoint on, even though they're saying it at like, to give you a perfect example, you know, everything obviously that's happened with the children, right? That's awakened a lot of people with all the pedophilia that's been going on and stuff. And then you have these, we'll call them advocates, so to speak, that are fighting against all of these politicians. Are fighting against the movement for the children, right? To help save the children, but they're fighting for it. So from your point of view, is that the best way to go about it? Or do you see a better, more ascended way to go about it?
And so there are warriors on our planet who have come here to serve that role of warrior, to fight for what's right, right? And so I like to say that right now, what we're really experiencing are the warriors and the angels, right? And angels need warriors for protection, and people who are willing to fight and, you know, have rallies and protest. And so I just believe that people have come here with different missions, and they feel compelled to perform their missions in different ways. And so those of us who may not have that warrior type of mission are being called to hold the highest frequency of light. It's like holding the space for the light to come in, and maybe being more involved in the disclosure movement, but from a neutral mind, in the way that I'm trying to present it today, by saying, no judgment. We volunteered to come here to 3D, which is a reality of duality, because you can learn valuable lessons in this type of reality that you can in any other type of reality. You can serve in a unique way here in this reality of duality, but someone has to serve the light and someone has to serve the dark. Otherwise, it's not a reality of duality. And so with a neutral mind, you can say, they're serving the dark to hold this reality of duality in place. We can be done with separation and suffering and get off the 3D plane, right? But some are still very much immersed in that drama, right?
How much of this, like, do you think, like, you know, we talk about like false light workers, right? So they come in, and it's like, you know, we are, I think inherently people just wake up in the morning and they're like, hey, I want to get better. I want my life to get better. I want to feel more connected, right? I think inherently that's human nature, I would imagine, for most. Then they hear like things like okay, all right, everything's going to be great. We're going to get all this. This is going to happen. This person's going to take care and handle everything for us as soon as they get into where they need to be, or in the office or whatever like that. Or this person's having a meeting. How much of those kind of conversations do you think are like a false light worker, if you would, meaning that they're there to throw people off their game, which is to try to live and to try to concentrate in the present right now, to stay connected for the messages that, you know, our ancestors, if you would, are looking out for us to help deliver to us? Hello, everybody. How are you? Much love to you. It's very good to see you and hang out with you. I hope you're having a fantastic day here. So let me give you some updates about what's going on with Spiritually Raw. So as you can see right here, right, a new facelift. I hope you like it. Okay, so this is the new facelift, the image of the site. So watch, evolve, ascend. It's very cool, very streamlined. Everything's broken down in very easy catalogs, playlists for you to watch whatever kind of topic you're looking for to help you on your journey called life. So let's check it out together. All right, so literally here you go, the home page right here. You can scroll down. If you're already a member, same login and password as you normally do. If you're not, you can click right here, join now, get a 3-day free trial, check out and binge on the whole network as much as you want. I hope you like it, and I'm sure you will, but that's 3 days on us. Okay, so don't forget to check that out if you're not already. Here's some videos that are recent that we just put up there that you'll be able to check here. Now, also too, I want to go back here real quick, catalog. So this is how we've broken it down for you. Super simple and very easy playlist. New releases, intuitive psychic mediums, the Great Awakening, metaphysical, current events, 2020 videos for those of you who want to take a trip down memory lane and see how that all worked out. Prosperity, special report, I mean, so on and so forth. I mean, it goes on and on and on. We have really brought together the best minds out there that are coming in to entertain us, but then to break it down so simple, again, to help us on our journey called life. So this is really cool here. So also, I want to point out here for those of you who have actually said, hey, you know, I do want to have my own show. We also have a master course preview, and that's there designed to teach all of you who would like to have your own show, or maybe even need some help in being interviewed when you are on other shows too. But let's go down a little further. I want to show you something else. So for all of you out there who have Roku, you simply need to click here and you can now watch us on Roku TV. Coming soon within the coming weeks, within probably a week or so, you'll see us on the iPhone, Apple. We're streaming everywhere. You'll be able to download the app soon on Apple. But as of right now, like I said, you can stream us anywhere there. So, and these are some examples of the topics that you're going to be watching when you do go to spirituallyraw.live. So thank you very, very much for hanging out with us, as you always do. Really do hope you are having the most miracle mornings and are having the most fortunate days. And this really is bringing you a lot of value. And again, helping you on your journey called life. So thanks again, and we will see you all next time.
We'd like to share a story. While it may sound fictional, it's very real and happening right now in front of our very eyes. It's called The Great Awakening. Our sisters and brothers that come on Spiritually Raw are doing everything to help expand global consciousness, and in many cases putting everything on the line to share their messages about what's happening around the world for the greater good of humanity. We are living in the most unbelievable times. Some may even say biblical, scary for many and yet exhilarating for others. Together we are taking part in getting everyone acclimated to the Great Awakening process and the exciting new discoveries that lie ahead. The sad part is many of our amazing guests are being heavily censored, socially shamed, and outright banned on many platforms for exposing the truth and piercing the veil. By becoming a viewer, you bring your powerful energy towards this global movement of other truth seekers. If you're resonating with our show, please let us know by hitting the like button, sharing, subscribing, turn on the notification, and leave some comments. Together, we will turn the universal key to global harmony and create a unified world. And remember, tune in often, tell all your friends, and most importantly, may all your dreams come true. Thanks, and God bless Patriots worldwide.